With all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakwadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles of Jesus that ruleth well, and peace, blessing, salutation to the hopefully elect, scattered across the four corners. And this is just going to be Sirach 7. Just some wisdom. I'm going to start at verse 1. So it says, Sirach 7:1. If you do no wrong will ever come to you. Sirach, Proverbs, Psalms, these are books, you ought to, read throughout the week, with other chapters of the scriptures as well. And, living in this current wicked world where everybody's, is a scumbag. Everybody is basically a double crosser, is doing everything for themselves. They got an individual mindset, and they're doing a lot of backdoor deals where they're trying to overcut and gain something for themselves. So in this world we live in, it's very important that you try to be peaceful with all men. If you can, like the scripture says, do not plow the ground to plant seeds of injustice. You may reap a bigger harvest than you expect. Because again, going back to what I just said, you don't want to go around, trying to do undercutting, and just do mischievous things. Because remember, and always remember, it's a living power, and his name is Yahweh that sees all things. Like the scripture says, his eyes are 10 times brighter than the sun. He knows the hair on our heads, the amount of hair strands that we have in our heads. So again, the best thing you can do is try to, again, be peaceful with all men if you can. If somebody doesn't like you, hey, cut them off. Don't fuck with them. Watch. Like, it's a scripture. I don't know if it's in here or what. I've been reading. You get to reading sometimes, everything just get bundled in, jumbled up. But it's a scripture where it says, watch thy enemies, and sometimes you got to watch your friends too, because again, we live in a wicked world. So just always be on alert and be circumspect. So it says, don't ask the Lord for a place of honor or ask the king for an important position, because I'm gonna keep going. Don't try to convince the Lord that you are righteous or make a show of your wisdom before the king. Don't set your heart on being a judge unless you have the strength of character it takes to put an end to injustice. Because we live in a current world where everybody thinks about themselves. Everybody wants to be this king. We all remember, growing up, listening to rap, listening to merengue, listening to reggaeton. You always had these niggas talking about they're the king of this place, the king of this city, the king of this era, the king of this area. But who proclaimed you that? Because again, you have, in this world we live in, Jake, you so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanic, Native Americans, we have a lot of self-entitled niggas that nobody made you, nobody usurped you authority to be in these high positions. You pretty much made yourself because you saw another man in another position and you envied. Because amongst the world of Israel, so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanic, Native Americans, and in this captivity of ours, we have became so low. So now we have a crab in a barrel mindset. So now Jake really, instead of this being how you said, genuinely decent, good person, he humble, meek, and ambition and drive to do what's right. We have how you say a self-destruction mindset. To hate, be hateful, envious, and mischievous to our own people. And again, when we see the so-called white man, we kiss his ass. We extol all his words. We become a little docile bitch. And it says, if you let yourself be influenced by someone in a position of power, your integrity will be damaged. And one thing Esau has done, he has put a lot of wicked ass, corrupt niggas in the seat of power to mislead and misguide our people. and they put niggas. I remember watching Neely Fuller, but when you look at just I forgot what I was reading about back in the day. It basically thing came out, or what I was reading, it said, in order to destroy blacks or Latinos or Hispanics, the best thing to do is to use their own people against them, and that's even in the scriptures. It tells you when you set up a king, it has to be of your own kin, your own people. And Esau somewhat knows that, and that's why he used going back to slavery. He used sell out coon niggas to they dolled him up, put him in a nice suit, give him nice little clothing, set him apart from the bunch, from the pack, and allowed him to get a little bit of pleasures and endeavors. But all in all, he was still a little servant bitch, and he knew, as long as he lead his people and misguide his people and be a scumbag towards his people, he gets a little bit of gifts. And that's all that Esau does, and he continued out that same thing. So again, when you look at these rappers, these reggaeton artists, these governments that are jakes, men that are in power, you can't be influenced by them, because really, all in all, everything's been coming out now. Like the scripture says, things that happen in the dark shall come to the light, and we're seeing that a lot of how you say it, a lot of these niggas that you looked up to at one point, they're nothing but some moles, and they're into some wicked, nasty, naughty things. So it said, don't commit any crime against the general public, and don't disgrace yourself among good townspeople. And Jake does that all the time. Women, the men, we all have become a degenerate plant, a degenerate generation. Don't commit the same sin twice. The punishment you get the first time ought to be enough. But Jake is stubborn and rebellious. Jake they do on and on and on and on and on. Don't think that Yahweh, the Most High, is going to take into account how very generous you are, and so accept any offering you decide to make. And that's going back into the old law, when the sacrificial law, when we had to sacrifice a lamb or a goat for our blemish, for our transgression, and then what Jake would do so, and then do it again. But see, and through Yahweh Shah now, him being our sacrificial lamb, because again, the law of sacrifice of animals is not no more into effect. Yahweh Shah was that lamb for us. So again, it's very important that we get our act together and try not to basically be out here being fuck ups. Never get tired of praying, and never miss a chance to give to the poor. And these lessons, and there's certain things as well. I forgot what it's in the book of Acts. I think it's damn. I think it's the early books. I think 6:5. When it talks about man, I can't remember. It talks about the charity. How Israel was getting together. We had the followers, the believers, and it was all in the women as well, and they were all giving it in charity, looking out for each other, taking it, certain things, selling it, and giving it back to the believers. Because all in all, this truth in this ministry is really for the elect, the ones that believe, and the one that are striving for this truth. Like the scripture says, and I forgot the verse, but it tells you that don't give to the wicked, or don't give to the naughty. You're supposed to give to a godly man, not a wicked man. So it says, don't laugh at someone who has been humiliated. It is the Lord who humbles a person, but the Lord also raises him up again. So, all in all, this is not for, the wicked. This is not for, not for the 2/3. This is, or Esau. This is for, brother that's in the truth. Because again, so there's certain things happen to certain men in this truth of ours that, he gets humiliated, or something has to happen, he gets humbled. You can't look at that, because you have certain scriptures that seem like it's talking about a wicked or 2/3 nigga, but nah, it's not the, how you say, not the just of things. Like like you had the nigga polite got his judgment. Hey, the hell with that nigga, you know. But you got a lot of these guys now that's that they're playing that gray area with the mark of the beast, the mo. Damn, I said it, but MOTB, and the guys are playing around. So when the Lord send them that judgment, hey, they should have been on the good course. Setting, telling Israel the truth. So it says, don't think up lies to tell about your friends. Don't tell lies at all. It never does any good. And in an official assembly, don't get up and talk a lot of nonsense, and don't repeat yourself when you pray. Don't try to avoid farm work or other hard labor. The Most High has given us these jobs to do, and it starts from the house. A lot of times, especially in these day of times, because I remember my grandfather and the men of old. I want to say back in the 90s, early 90s, the 80s and the 90s, we had most of the uncles and grandfathers and dads in the household around the household, and we had a little fear of them, and they made us to work, and that's why a lot of us, and I realized that's some certain Jakes that grew up around my era. We still have that ambitious mind to work for ourselves, do certain things. If we own a crib, apartment, cars, whatever, we take the initiative sometimes to work basically work with our hands, man. Because this new generation, man, they've been so entitled, they've been pampered, been called boys and little babies their whole life, and we have these different mindsets of these women that's having these kids, and these women don't make these kids or have no control of these kids, and they just call them babies. A woman will sit there and call their 30-year-old son her baby. And again, man, this world we live in now, Jake don't realize how important it is to work with your hands. Even women don't realize the importance of being nurturing and learning, sewing, being cleaning, meaning taking baths, being smelling good, tending to their hair, tending to their home, things that'll make these women not be so into their emotions or trying to figure out what their men doing. So doing things that women do, charity, cook, clean, etc. And that's why when you come in America, a lot of women don't like each other, and you don't really see. Well, you see a lot of times when, and I don't want to get off topic, but a lot of girls, here in America, what they do is it'll be a good looking chick and there'll be some old fat chick they with, and they do that for a purpose. So all the attention can go to the pretty chick, because a lot of times these pretty chicks are good looking, decent looking chicks. They have a lot of low self esteem. These women are fucked up mentally here in America, because when you leave the country and you get around these women really have like genuine friends. And you could take some of your homeboys, y'all could always have women from different areas, and they'll link up, and they all get together and they want to cook for you, and clean the house or wherever you are. You get what I'm saying. Women get together here, all they want to do is pull each other hair out and bicker with each other. So it said, don't join up with the crowd of sinners. Remember that the Lord's punishment is sure to come. Be very humble, because the decay of death awaits us all. You see that? So again, all in all, be humble, be meek, and be diligent, and tend to the gospel, and tend to, righteousness, and follow the things of truth. Let me get that real quick, and I'm going to end it. Okay, JB. I think this is is it First Thessalonians? Here it is. So Philippians 4. Let me look for the whole chapter. Philippians 4 and yeah, I'm just get Philippians 4 and 8. So Philippians 4 and 8, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of a good report. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things, because in this present wicked world we live in, you don't want to be given into, the flesh, wickedness, carnality, and things that'll make you immoral. Because America is all about being immoral. You look at, if you got good channels to look at, these guys, these podcasts and these guys that make these videos, they always talk about the foolishness and the moral decay of America, and you don't want to be wrapped up in it because America has a great judgment awaiting for it, and that's those nukes and nuclear missiles and the chariots that is going to wreak havoc on this place. But with that, those who was edified, they shalom.